known.
I'm being nice.
I meet white people that ask me, "Are you a comedian?" Yes. Oh, like Trevor Noah. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's So what's with the grey beard here now?
My wife likes the grey, so I've stuck to it. I'm not taking it off.
Yeah.
It's 40 years now.
I was going to say 40 years, but 20 in the business. You've just celebrated 20 in the business.
Half men, half comics. So comedy, half my life.
Yeah. Is it
How
stressful?
long have you been?
How long have I been?
Yeah.
What, doing morning news today? Like 2 hours. I think I'm over 30. I think I was broadcasting before you were born.
I gave you a lifetime achievement at the radio.
You did at the Radio Awards, yes.
In April.
And you took the mickey out of me, which is why
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. I remember the millionaire.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, hey? Yeah, when I still had black hair.
So someone was asking yesterday the whole thing about it, whether a tomato is a fruit or a vegetable.
Yes.
And I said it's one of those questions on your
I think it
Win
was.
a Million Rand show.
Yes, that's right. Who wants to be a millionaire?
You get them all right, and then you have half
win a lot of money.
And the last question is tomato a vegetable or?
Yeah. And what's the answer?
It's a fruit.
Yeah.
And then you get it wrong, and then you lose the million.
And then you're dead. I know. That was a long time ago.
So you came up.
So, David, I want to know what the problem is with car guards. I
love car guards. I did another post on my story. I just didn't put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
But I do feel they're sort of like a cartel of some sort.
You think?
Know? I think so, because they force you to thank them for forcing you to wash your car.
But it's not only forcing you to thank them, it's the way in which they can strategically move your car and then suddenly you look to your right and there he is. I think there are two of them.
They're everywhere. But, you know, we all have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
You know.
But you got into a bit of hot water, eh, with the video.
I don't
want to go
so.
there, but I mean,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I entertain my followers now and then, but some people are not even my followers, so I don't entertain them.
But I mean, it's also about, you know, part of your job is to push the envelope as far as you can.
You have to, Jeremy. Especially now. You know, I think everyone is going into this hole and this corner where everybody's afraid to say anything, and that's really all over the world. You know, from the Me Too campaign, the whole men and women and sex and sexual favors and harassment, and then the race thing as well in South Africa. You know, I think we're like 10 years behind now.
You don't think that South Africa is kind of losing the funny, though? I mean,
that's exactly what it is.
Do you think we are?
It is happening. I'm getting, you know, the K word, by the way, for our Blacks Only comedy show, people would say, and people of color sometimes, that, oh, I was going to go, but it's for the K people. And I'm talking a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So it's an issue that we kind of just covered it up. And
so as a comedian, half man, half comedian, how do you don't self-censor, though, do you? Or do you feel sometimes, because of this very charged climate that we live in, that you've got to perhaps be a bit more careful than you were 5 or 10 years ago?
You want to be careful depending on the medium.
Yeah.
So stand-up comedy will always remain stand-up comedy. You know, if you come into my show, into my venue, I'm going to be the comedian that I am.
No holds barred.
You invite me to your TV show, I understand it's your platform, there's viewers at home. I go on Twitter, I understand there's people that have never been to a comedy show that are just following for the sake of commenting on whatever anybody says. You know, it doesn't matter what it is.
So kind of unwritten rules, I suppose.
Yeah. So you also just need to know where you are and understand where you are, you know. So, I mean, we're doing a Mandela show tonight, Centenary, Legacy. We did a sketch on the comedy show called...
Well segued, by the way, because you're here to promote the show.
Oh, yeah. So we did a sketch on the comedy, on the Pure Monati show years ago, based on the reality show with the rock and roll guy, the first reality show ever on MTV based. And we called ours the Mandelas. One episode, SABC commissioning editor said, no ways, you can't do this. You know, I played Nelson Mandela, Joey Rasdeen played Grassa Machel. And then it was taken off air. And then for the rest of the season, the family was asking us what happened to the Mandelas. You know, Zinzi and them loved the show.
And so the show, it's tonight, yeah?
The show is tonight at
Montecasino. That's in Four Ways, north of Johannesburg.
Yes.
What is in store?
Traffic, where traffic is manufactured and then exported to the rest of
different parts of the province,
But the lineup is... 10 years ago, we did Mandela 46664, It's No Joke, comedy show at the Convention Center. So all of us on the lineup are 10 years later. I think we've added Mpo Pops, who did very, very well at the Black Songly Comedy Show at the Dome 2 weeks ago.
So who else is on the lineup?
Dumi Morake, Mark Lottering, Chris Forrest, myself, Barry Hilton. I think he's 34, 35 years in the game.
He's much older than I am.
And I'll let him
know. Tell him, I think he's closing in on about 80, 85, if I'm not mistaken. Tell him Jeremy said that.
Soon we'll have a Barry Hilton centenary.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and Dr. Riyad Musa as well. Fantastic lineup. 2 of the comics there just recorded Netflix specials. And I would say 8 p.m. European Greece beach time.
Okay, so just drift in at some point.
Yeah. And
I just wonder, David, when a group of heavy hitters like you all get together, how competitive is it? I mean, are you looking at each other's material? Are you saying, that's better than I'm doing? Or is there a degree of collegiality because you all know each other so well?
I think especially that particular lineup, because we know each other so well. I mean, we almost all started at the same time, myself, Mark Lottering, Riyad Musa, and but because our lives have gone so separate, so we all used to do a lot of current affairs when we started. I think I toned down on the current affairs, and my life and my stand-up became my kids, my wife, my half Zulu, half Greek wife, and my kids who speak better English than me. So you almost don't really worry what the next guy or the previous guy is going to say. Riyad, he's 4 kids in, doctor, Muslim. So I don't think we worry that much at that level. But I think if there was something exciting happening, there was a time everyone had a Zuma joke. There was a time everybody had a Nelson Mandela impersonation joke.
A Trump joke.
I've never told a Trump joke. I'm not really interested.
All right, so 8 o'clock tonight, Montecasino,
8 o'clock
Teatro,
tonight, Montecasino.
Stellar lineup.
It's a beautiful lineup. And all the proceeds are going to the Nelson Mandela Foundation.
Which is important to say, absolutely.
And
you're still wearing your earphones.
Am I?
Yeah, I just thought maybe you were getting bored of the conversation and you were listening to a podcast.
I wanted
to
relay your messages in case you didn't hear, because these things pick up anything and anybody. I can hear everything.
Okay, David, always good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thanks,
Jeremy.
man. All right,
Thank you very much.